Mrs. Mercy Simpson, Yossi, KC Simpson, Uncle Eman, Ebenezer, all of Kukrubiti Goil. And this is from Kofi Bentil to you guys. Enjoying the show. I hear you are loyal and tune in all the time. The legendary K Fresh. Steven Jampo and Kofori, I'll see you. Thanks for tuning in all the time. Abu Mohammed in Japan. From North Kanishin. Amazing how you build a whole family and you haven't even met them before, but they feel like family. Good evening to you again, Kwame Awuvi. All the way up and down in Assisia. Echo is rapping. Echo, good evening. Tofik from Talk Smart. Nakosia Pra from Kwabenya. Ajiman Joseph in Community 9. Yep, the say playtime is over. You know it. And we start the way we start. Folks, until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And you know, I'll say that again. Folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Ansah Kwao IV, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwamu Edumasa. And I say thank God it's Monday. Another beautiful opportunity to meet up for radio's finest ritual. A ritual that teases out the wisdom in us. A ritual that gingers up our emotions. A ritual that brings patriots, the cultured, and nation lovers by now all gathered by their radios, gadgets, and television, waiting the greatest storytelling time. Welcome to the ritual I call That's My Opinion. Only on Joy 99.7 FM. Mondays at this time. Make it a date, make it a point, tune in to join us. And our topic today, folks, ghosts on payroll. Ghosts on payroll. Certainly becoming very profitable being a ghost. Folks, let us all gather and make truth good. Ghost on payroll. Folks, in my younger days, I would have used really strong language in this opinion piece. But I guess I'm older and probably calmer. So now I am more measured and I take a lot more caution in my tone. However, some things are just too painful. It's only be a painful. People are living off the back of, theft and making you seem as though they want Mamebo Brebia. And yet they still get recognized, and you go to church and this same thief will come and be a chairman there because Onawabo Brassing. Things are painful. I know we are handicapped folks and helpless in quite a number of situations. Folks, I know we are handicapped and helpless in quite a number of situations, which will never make sense, but that's what we live with. Sometimes, but let me hit on a few before I move on to today's topic. So, folks, you get one person or one company who will either build or destroy or obstruct to the detriment of a whole area, yet nothing happens. From the assembly, from the district offices, from the local police, from the authorities, nothing happens. Their actions could cause real inconvenience, sometimes even disaster. And the whole nation is just handicapped. Now, this attitude empowers others and gives this impression that in Ghana, one can do whatever they feel like, whenever, wherever. Folks, even though we are far better than most African countries, and yes, even though sometimes we moan and lament and everything, we are far better than most African countries. But this indisciplined culture is what hurts us and brings us down the most. And ironically, folks, anytime we get the opportunity, we want to travel to a country where one cannot do as they please, but rather abide by the law, which means somehow we love the discipline, the effects of discipline on nations. We love it. Because the prayers, the middlemen, the guru men, the visa connection men, the fasting we do to travel to countries where you just can't live your free life but abide by the law, it's amazing. So for a people who love discipline and tidiness and orderliness, it's amazing how we live such the opposite. It's a whole paradox on its own. Folks, look at the impunity on our fresh water bodies in broad daylight. I mean, it doesn't get worse than that. And yet, the water company or the same government who should declare a state of emergency on the water bodies will turn around and say to the innocent, pay more water bills because it's costing me more to treat the very water that I am not protecting. And it's not as if you pay more, they will stop the destruction. No. You pay more while the menace continues. You get the picture I'm trying to paint? You pay more while the menace continues. Again, folks, look at the insult within the ECG. Insult, proper insult. And if this was in Ghana, I would have used some strong Ghana words as to how we feel. Pure insult. Some of the stories that come out of ECG, folks, I am telling you that they won't even fly in a bad Kumawood movie. If somebody wrote, really bad Kumawood movie and wrote the ECG story, everybody say, hey, it won't even fly. But after the bad movie ends, they say we have to pay more bills. So here is ECG. They spend over budget, leave the very goods that they overspend to buy to rot. They turn down to steal those same goods and sell it back to ECG at a double price. And then we have to pay to recover for the inefficiencies and the theft. I mean, what movie can you write this in and who would believe it? They spend more than what they were supposed to spend, so they didn't even have the money. The goods come, they didn't clear it. Then they spend more to get more goods. Build 2,000 and over containers, steal half of it, and then turn around and say that you have to pay for the inefficiencies and obviously the theft. But today, folks, it's ghost on payroll. It's becoming very beneficial being a ghost in Ghana. Folks, it's becoming very beneficial to be a ghost in Ghana. Folks, the number of people waiting for financial clearance to get the opportunity to serve their own country, teachers, nurses, social workers, folks, fire service, these are essential workers. But we're told that, the public sector is full up. And so you need to wait. The wage bill is so big that the finance minister has to find more money, to inject into the system so that they can free up to get our youth working. And not just working, but serving the nation. Yet, folks, within the same sector, there are thousands, not 10 or 20, thousands drawing salaries and not working. Either they proceeded on leave, either they left the work and didn't tell anybody they've left, either some forgery names have been put into the system. Whatever it is, there is just too many. And we know how frustrating it is being unemployed. Folks, any security person worth his salt will tell you that one of the most dangerous thing or the security worry in this country is youth unemployment. These are the people who can easily be absorbed into ISIS and absorbed into all these fanatic things because Charlie Wabra Unya Bidia, let's just go there. 2-3 years ago, there was a research where there were able youth who had given up. They had just given up. They've stopped looking for work. They'd given up. These were able youth, young men who could be employed, but have been searching and have now given up. And within the same country, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people being paid and not working. And yet, just a few people will collude to milk the system and indeed go free. They will catch one or two scapegoats who don't have any godfather anywhere near Swamp, near Diomoko. But if you look at the system, if you look at the bureaucracy, even if one person draws a salary without working, in truth, the people who have to be interdicted, it's not one or two. It's not one or two. So until the external auditors come in and come and find out that no, hold on, you have too many people here who don't actually work here, it just goes on and on and on and on, because the internal auditor hasn't got any say, or just decorative figure, them okay, when they need to apply for a loan and they need some audited reporting, afraid about here, chobibi mine here fankoji loan. Other than that, he's just there, the decorative piece. But look at the cost to us, the real cost. The same money that could have been paid to, a young nurse or a young teacher to actually go out there and teach, to actually go to the hospital and serve fire service. Somebody has blocked it just to fill their own pockets. And the annoying part is they'll turn up at church. As soon as they say, oh, the God will bless who donate 5,000, they are the first person to go and drop the 5,000 in. As if say, oh, they're 1 year. And their wives will look at you and look down on you. Their children will go to the best of schools, all on the back of this ill-gotten wealth. Ill-gotten wealth. That is costing us too much. Folks, it's actually becoming profitable to think of it. Because after all, folks, after all the checks within the government sector to make sure that people who are paid are actually present and working, you will be shocked about the bureaucracy. That every month before your wage goes out, it must be certified from the department that yes, Ziggy works here and is present. Somebody must tell the accountant general who's going to pay you that yes, you work there. And then they'll pay you for years. And then when the alarm blows, it's news for 3 days. Asa, the guy is still there. Wakes up in the morning and still goes back to work. Work to do what? Folks, if you're not going to jail him, at least he has to pay back maybe 3 times. Maybe 4 times. If you're not going to go to jail, you need to refund maybe 4 times. So that the next person will think about it before engaging in such stupidity. But, Debbie, and like I said in the beginning, we seem to be very handicapped in so many situations where we shouldn't have been. But we are all just handicapped. 1 or 2 people will just decide to corrupt the system and get away with it freely. But it's time to put an end to this crime. People should be made to pay back. Because the desperation in the youth, folks, the desperation in the youth, and thank God now we have, free SHS. So they are coming onto the job market in their numbers. And still, Joe Bloggs has just blocked it by fidgeting with some figures and just drawing this money on a monthly basis. How many people are being arrested and how many people are being asked to pay back? And how can this also be business as usual, or how can this also be a norm to the point that when this news breaks, it's like, they say, Ghana, then we move on. I mean, have we gotten there? And I don't think we should. there shouldn't be any ghost on any payroll. And I know we're not going to do it, but whoever heads that department or heads that, administration or heads that sector, if a ghost is found on your payroll, you're out. But then again, that's another issue we have. We're unable to either resign or sack. It becomes such a big problem just getting people who are defrauding the state. So everybody thinks, well, then it's good. It's good. Sure, Kwajo will come on the morning show in the morning, talk a bit of English. And Ansah Kwao will come on Monday, jump up and down in his opinion. The next day he's back at work, still drawing a salary. Nothing has changed. Still get his fuel allowance. Nothing has changed. Just wait for probably some 2-3 weeks to go. The matter dies down and hey, a few people resign or people will leave and doesn't even report it. Just get back to business. I don't know whose job it is, but clearly it must be somebody's job. You look at the audited reports, and every time the names of people who are being paid but are not working. Somehow the person who has to report to say that Ziggy no longer works here, so don't pay him anymore, doesn't say anything. But the money goes in all the time. Whoever receives that money should pay back. It's state money. It's not charity. So this notion where we are all getting handicapped over the simplest of things and letting the rest of people suffer, we must definitely break that cycle. Where we cannot live in a country where one or two people's action will just cause so many people to suffer, and yet those one or two people will still get on. We heard about the floods today. People filling where it's supposed to be a waterlogged area, people building where they're not supposed to build, and yet still the guys in the assembly are there. They're still getting paid. And you know how they get paid? You, the same person whose house get flooded. When you buy petrol and you pay your tax on your fuel and you pay VATs or whatever it is, the same person who has suffered the crisis. The same person who suffered the crisis. Indeed, if you go out to buy cement to come and repair the crisis that you suffered, the taxes you pay on the cement, so it's actually even benefiting from your suffering. We are just hoping that the tide should turn so that it becomes very scary to dabble in these things. But I don't know, what do you think? It's 0302 216 541. 0302 216 541. You see, I said the number too fast. 0302 21 6541. Good evening to you, Dr. Cynthia Tego. Says these ghosts seem to appear with every political party when they exist. To my hood in Japan and speak to Abu Mohammed. Good evening, my brother. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Abu, good evening.
Yeah, you are excited. I was about to eat when you mentioned my name. Not after that. Yes, Nana.
Let me hear you.
Yes. Our only problem is discipline. If we are disciplined, this country is the best country in the world. But because we fail to be disciplined, let me give an example. You see, when we first went to Brazil, the World Cup, 2022. He was disciplined that Coach Gaya then is still in the team. The only discipline that took us to the World Cup. Remember what he did to Sami Kufuor. He was our talisman then. He's untouchable. And when we want to exhibit that indisciplined nature of Ghanaians, this coach refused and suspended him. The Ghanaian media disagree. They forced the guy to apologize. When he refused, the coach put tension on him, and he made mistakes and put Sir Alassane, who is a local player, and he excelled. The coach tell him be disciplined, and he will excel. So if we are disciplined, a lot of things will change. Till then, you see, every day we have to go to the World Cup. That's because of discipline. So let's be disciplined. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And let me see. Let me go to Tamale because Imoro Al Hassan is waiting.
Thank you very much, Nana.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I agree with most of the points that you have raised, except that I just have something small to add.
I would like to hear that.
In fact, you are just on point. And that is why some of us are always saying that Ghanaians don't deserve sympathy. We don't care about ourselves. Look at this electricity issue that you raised. All this mess that is caused at the energy sector. They see nobody. They see the customer. Pay all. They come and hit you with every debt. The inefficiency there is about 99%. But it is the consumer who carries the burden. What kind of government system do we have? You change this, the same. You change this, it's worse. All of them, the same bundle of incompetence. Now let's look at the ghost names. Is it not ironical? It means that all along we've been paying people who don't exist. And it looks like that number is so huge, even equal to those who are working. It presupposes that if in actual fact people were going to be employed, only less people would have been less employed. So if you discover this, the best thing to do is to make sure that you fill in those gaps because you are already paying. Is that not the sensible thing to do? Because if you were paying for 90 people and you get to realize that, only 40 people are working, the 50 people were not actually working, but you were paying for them. Why don't you get the 50 on board and make sure you retrieve the money from those who were siphoning the 50? But the government will not do that. They will say they have cleaned the system, but you will not see filling in. But the most annoying part, Nana, we thought after the introduction of Ghana card, this thing was the thing of the past. So if Ghana card is carrying the unique biometric data of every individual, how does Ghost have biometric data? This is so confusing. How does the Ghost get biometric data to the system? Because some of us were thinking that in the introduction of Ghana card, this thing, everybody can go to sleep. It is impossible. Even we can use it to vote and ghosts cannot come near it. But we didn't know that people are more clever and smarter than that. So we are the enemy of ourselves. And I have said that it's like as God has created us, the more knowledgeable the people become, the more destructive they are to themselves. the whole world. The more knowledgeable people become, the more destructive they are to themselves. I don't know why God designed it that way. Maybe he just want to use us to reduce population.
Thank you very much.
Because it doesn't make sense. Thank you, Nana.
Thank you so much. Let me go to Community 9 and speak to Ajiman Joseph. I'm very good, my brother.
I think we are encouraging people to put them to work. Because it makes me laugh when they see we have audit. What are they auditing? What are they coming out? So if an auditor sees something wrong and giving something in the public and these people to keep on operating and be feeling asked, then you see you have auditing. You're able to determine that there are good news in the system. If this good news went and you put them, why can't you put them? Why can't you prosecute them? Then year in, year out, government in, government out, they so find good news. Which means you can't do anything about it. Like this flooding issue. Anytime it's going heavily, then you have a news of flood. So Nana, if the system is correct from the grassroots to the top. That's my take on that. God bless you for your show.
God bless you too. God bless you too, my brother. This one says, Nana, we are a nation of talkers. We are always complicit in the inactions of our leaders, which gives us these bad results. We know what to do for positive results, but we are not willing to take action and demand accountability and also act responsibly too as citizen. Etuji Yangara, Dr. Cynthia Tego. And hello, Kakito in Teshin.
Thank you, Nana.
I want to hear your take on this one.
Yes, God bless you for always giving us this medium to always vent our views on national discourse. Nana, I'll start by saying that Ghanaians, naturally, they love their dishonest and corrupt leaders. Ghanaians in general, they love their dishonest and corrupt leaders at all levels. So, all the noises they've been making in the country, it's just hypocrisy and pretense. It's just hypocrisy and pretense. If you study the history of this country, almost everybody who has led this country has either studied in US, UK, Germany, Italy, France, almost everywhere in the country. To be frank, they ran from African continent and claim that they can only be superior if they go to the West. And when they go to the West, what surprises me about Ghana, by extension Africa, is that when they go to the Western world, everything is done orderly. Have you asked yourself, have all Ghanaians asked themselves, why is it that when they come here, what they go and learn there, they can't come and implement it here? It is a question I am asking all Ghanaians. Ghanaians love their dishonest and corrupt leaders. They vote their dishonest and corrupt leaders into office, and the same group of people will turn around and said, they turn around and be complaining about them. But before they voted for them, they knew that they were dishonest and corrupt. Why is it that when you go to America, I'm not saying there's no flooding there. I've never traveled to the West before. But why is it that every home you see, there is a waste bin there? Why is it that every home you go in the West, there is a waste bin there? But when you come to Africa, they don't put waste bin in ordinary people's home. It's only in Trasacco, Airport Hill, East Cantonment, and these same politicians will turn around and say the country is dirty. You see, one common sense. I think I can say that I'm beginning to see some common sense governance in President Mahama administration. You know, fuel has gone down. And I have argued that it is only the car owner and the driver that is benefiting. What about the passenger? What about the passenger who is one driver is to 15 passengers? But I have seen something right now that 15% have been negotiated with the drivers, to be reduced for passengers. So I'm beginning to see some common sense governance now, because I cannot understand the political class in this country. I cannot understand them. They travel outside and they see all the good things there. Why can't they come here and implement the same thing?
Kakito,
it is a question I'm throwing to Ghanaians.
Thank you very much, Kakito. Thank you very much. Why is it that we don't implement what we learn outside? But Abusa Jackson is in Cape Coast. Hello.
Yeah. Nana, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank God for your life, for the good work.
Thank you for tuning in and even calling in. But what are we going to do with these ghost names? Why do people get away with it so freely?
Nana, when I think about it, I don't understand. How can a go get up from a cemetery and enter his name on our payroll? Who is in charge of that payroll?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are not taking that person and hold him accountable for that thing. And the later one, the most annoying thing is that later on what we hear is that the lawyers and the attorney general have sometimes they use. They call it pre-bargain or so. So my question is that let's allow the people who go and steal one plantain and one yam, one chicken to do the same pre-bargain or so they call it, so that they will pay for the plantain and the yam so that we release them. I don't know what is happening in this country. See the Sky Train matter, Professor Ameya Okofi. They say the Attorney General is saying that they are talking about pre-bargain. That means the person will come and steal the money and go and invest for his children, and later on they come and pay. That's the end. May God have mercy. But all of them, God is watching them one by one. We don't have anything to say, but God is watching all of them.
That was a good evening and thank you very much. But in Community 25 is Kwame Abekan. He's probably had braved the traffic from TT Brothers all to Community 25, but he's still going strong. Kwame Abekan, good evening. Oh, the line dropped. Kwame, try and call back. Kwame is back on. Hello, Kwame.
Nana.
Yes, sir.
That's
it.
Let me show. Nana, have you asked this question before? Is God really in Ghana?
That's a big one. We have to do a show on it. Who's that?
I think our God is missing. This is same with you. Let's talk about this flood, this common flood. How many years now? From June 3rd, the disaster that befell us. Fair now. We look on and they are leaders. A human being can create means as living when they are dead. Charlie, if my mother is not dead, I should have been good by now. I would have earned money. But we should be honest with ourselves. Nana, then kind of couldn't say some now does to everybody that has money has respect. What about integrity? I was taught that when I was very young. If it's not for you, don't take it. Ask permission before you take something. And I'm proud of my mother. Michelle. Have a good night.
Good evening, good night. Good night too. And have a good evening too. I mean, those days, even if you came home with something which was of very little value, and they know Sakrachi, so where from this toy or where from this pen or where from this thing, you have to send it back. I mean, that, at once upon a time, that was the discipline where you couldn't just come home, grab phone. I mean, it was not allowed. So how did we get here? But hey, we are here. Godwin is in North Legon. Hello, Godwin.
Yeah, Nana.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Why are we always complaining?
I know.
Nana, this is what Thomas Sowell has to say. Thomas Sowell said, it is hard to imagine a more stupid and a more nonsense way of making decisions than by putting those decisions in the hands of others who pays no price for being wrong. Okay? Now, our problem is it's a system. Some of us have been saying this thing for that long. Some of us have been saying this for so many times. It doesn't matter who we put in place until we change the structure of our constitution. Nothing will work for us. Because, Nana, the reason we do the right things as humans, okay, has very little to do with the knowledge of the right thing. The reason we do the right things as humans is largely based on the consequences of not doing the right thing. Therefore, how in the world, okay, do we entrust our resources and the affairs of this country in the hands of a group for the same group to approve to themselves, investigate themselves, report to themselves, and prosecute themselves when they are corrupt? And we expect them to do the right thing. I just don't get it. And we are practicing this, and everybody come and scream. And people will say, hold the government accountable. How do you hold somebody accountable if the person is to self-regulate himself? How do you hold such a person accountable? No. Our problem is the system. The structure of our system is totally flawed. See, any system of governance meant to alleviate the plight of the people but requires that the duty bearers must self-regulate to deliver is nothing but a scam. Okay? So what we need to do as people is to crusade, advocate, to change the structure of this system where those we entrust the affairs of this country and its resources to are not masters unto themselves. Other than that, believe me, it doesn't matter who we put there. That person will mess up. That person will mess up. This is our problem. The Constitution is our problem. It's not the people. We talk of the rain, Nana. I have never seen any adequate preparation in this country in anticipation of the rainy season. Go around and see. Most of our drains are choked. And none. And we have people in offices, we are paying them. District chief executive, governors, blah, blah, this, and we are paying them and they are just sitting down. Because they self-regulate themselves. So whether they do the work or not, nothing happened to them. We need to change this structure. We are too educated for this, please. Ghanaians are too educated for this system. We need to change, and now I must start from people like you. Advocate. I mean, call. You people have a social class. So this structure should be changed. They will go and sit down and then deal with administrative stuff in the Constitution. Our problem is structural. Structure, not administrative. Okay, we'll come and say, oh, we have a better law. Tell me, what's the essence of a better law? You draft a fine law to fight, prostitution. And then when done with it, you hand it over to a pimp to oversee. Tell me. Our problem is the structure. The structure of the Constitution is what we need to deal with. And it must start from people like you who have a social class. Call people, and then we need to crusade and get this thing changed, the structure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Godwin. Thank you so much. Thank you to the people from the Peninsula Resort for tuning in. Thank you to First American Specialist Medical Center, Dr. Dapa and Co. Thanks for tuning in. And to the international producers, Maribel, Oliver, and Ziggy, who will produce you wherever you are. I am Nana Ansah Kwao IV of the Little Republic of Akwamu Dumasa. I say, God willing, Monday, we'll be back to do this all over again. Don't you even touch that dial. James Savage is here to give you your news bulletin. Kofi Hayford is up next. Ziggy. Ziggy will be on the ones and twos. Play us some soul-searching songs while we think of why it is that we get stuck in all these situations and can't seem to get out of it. Folks, don't touch that down.